iconic civilizations. You've sent us a brilliant stack of articles, research, notes, all focused on ancient Egyptian civilization. So our mission today, let's unpack its origins, get a real feel for its defining characteristics, and grasp its lasting legacy, all without drowning in dates and details, you know? Think of it as like your express lane to understanding why Egypt still fascinates us so much.
It's a great topic. And what's truly remarkable, I think, is that this civilization wasn't just there. It actually built foundational cornerstones for, well, so many aspects of how human societies developed later on. Looking into ancient Egypt isn't just an academic thing. It's really a deep study in how societies innovate, how they adapt, how they build structures, literal ones like pyramids, but also metaphorical ones that somehow last for thousands of years. It gives you incredible insights into the very mechanics of civilization itself.
Couldn't agree more. It really does. So, okay, let's set the stage. The basics. Where and when? We're talking northeastern Africa, a civilization that just blossomed with this incredible connection to the Nile River. And it all kicks off around, what, 3200 BC?
Roughly, yeah, give or take.
Which is just staggering. That's centuries, millennia even, before many other major players got going. And what jumps out right away from the sources is how quickly it's described as one of the oldest and most influential human civilizations. I mean, that's a huge claim right from the start.
It is. And that claim, that influence, it really does circle back fundamentally to the geography, to the Nile. What's just completely fascinating here is how the Nile didn't just, help. It actively enabled this whole civilization to exist.
Enabled, yeah. That's a good word for it.
It wasn't just a river for water.
Yeah.
It was the main artery, as one source puts it, in every single way. It gave them that predictable flooding, depositing that incredibly fertile black silt.
Ah, the basis for their farming. Yeah.
Exactly. Turning desert into, well, agricultural gold mines. The absolute bedrock for any settled society. But it was more than food. The Nile was their highway. Trade, communication, it linked everyone up.
Connected the dots.
Right, it made a unified state possible. Some scholars even argue the whole idea of a central government came from needing to manage the Nile irrigation, flood control.
Yeah.
It took massive organization.
A national project from day one.
Pretty much. It was the rhythmic heart driving everything.
It's just amazing, isn't it, how one geographic feature could be so completely central, shaping their economy, their society, their politics, everything. And from that fertile ground, literally, comes this society with just an astonishing list of achievements. We're talking, rich culture, incredible architecture that still baffles us, unique religious beliefs woven right into daily life, those powerful, almost godlike pharaohs. And then sophisticated art, science that was way ahead of its time, and this complex social structure keeping it all running for thousands of years. It's just the ingenuity, the ambition.
Yeah.
It's staggering. Okay, so we've got the where and the when, and a sense of what are the incredible things they did. Now let's dig into the how. What were the specific things, beyond just the Nile, that let this civilization become so powerful, so enduring? How did they reach those heights?
Yeah, the how is key. And when you connect the dots, you see it wasn't just one thing. It was like a system of reinforcing pillars. They supported each other, allowed for that sustained growth. A huge one, absolutely foundational, was a strong central government.
The pharaohs.
Exactly. The sources highlight how the pharaohs played a crucial role in uniting the country and establishing a strong central government. And this wasn't just about one person in charge. It meant a central authority that could control immense resources, massive amounts of labor, provide direction, and force a single vision across a huge area. That's what allowed for projects on that scale. We talked about irrigation, those monumental buildings. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much does that kind of powerful, unifying leadership, the kind capable of long-term planning, actually shape how far civilization can go, how resilient it is?
That's a really interesting point.
For ancient Egypt, it seems like it was absolutely essential, non-negotiable almost.
A powerful argument for strong leadership, definitely.
Yeah.
But was it just leadership? What about their location? Did being kind of isolated help them stay unified for so long? And once they had that unity, what resources did they actually use?
That's a great point about isolation. Yeah, they're natural barriers. Deserts, the sea, those Nile cataracts, they definitely helped. Gave them breathing room, allowed them to develop without constant disruption, fostered continuity. And within those borders, yes, they're incredibly lucky with natural resources. And they were smart about using them. Like all the stone, granite, limestone, easily quarried right along the Nile, directly used for building temples and pyramids.
Can't build the Great Pyramid without stone, right?
Exactly. Then there was gold. And it wasn't just about being rich, it was deeply cultural, used in jewelry and religious ceremonies. It showed wealth, sure, but also spiritual meaning, like the flesh of the gods sometimes.
Wow. So it had this sacred dimension too, not just bling.
Not just bling, no. And they had the practical stuff too, which was just as vital.
Like what?
Copper, absolutely foundational. Having copper meant they could make durable tools for farming, maximizing that Nile gift, but also for quarrying stone.
Ah, so the tools enabled the big project?
Precisely. You can't build pyramids or carve temples without strong tools. Copper was like their Bronze Age workhorse metal, multi-purpose. And don't forget wood. Maybe not dense forest, but enough for shipbuilding, for furniture, essential for trade along the Nile and for craftsmanship and daily life, royal courts, etc. These resources, right there, used cleverly. They were the raw ingredients for everything they built.
It's fascinating. They didn't just have this stuff. They figured out how to organize people and use it so effectively. It says a lot about their early engineering, their strategic thinking. Okay, so we've got the Nile, strong leadership, these key resources all in place, foundational pillars, like you said. What did they actually do with all that? What are the things, the beliefs, the creations that really define their legacy for us today?
Right. These achievements, they're really the outward signs of their values, their intellect. A great place to start is religion, their beliefs.
Yeah.
Ancient Egyptians, the sources say, believed in many gods and goddesses, polytheistic. But the really critical part, they believed in life after death.
The afterlife, huge for them, wasn't it?
Absolutely massive. It wasn't just a comforting thought. For the pharaohs, it was like the ultimate long-term strategic plan. This belief drove them to pour unbelievable wealth and labor into things like pyramids, elaborate tombs. These were investments in eternity.
Ensuring their own eternal life.
And by extension, ensuring the stability of the whole kingdom as they saw it. It wasn't just faith. It was like state-sponsored immortality, planning on a scale never seen before. That really shows how a core belief could shape an entire society.
That puts those massive structures in a whole new light, doesn't it? Gateways to eternity, literally. And that focus on eternity, it carried over into how they recorded things, too.
It really did. The invention of their writing system, hieroglyphic writing, is just a monumental achievement in itself. It let them systematically record and preserve everything. And hieroglyphs weren't just simple pictures, were they?
No, not at all. It was incredibly sophisticated. A complex, beautiful mix of pictures, symbols for ideas, symbols for sounds.
Wow.
This visual language let them record everything, detailed, religious texts, history, boring administrative stuff. It was like the operating system for their complex society and bureaucracy for millennia, the glue holding their knowledge together.
And with that writing, they weren't just documenting things, they were actively shaping their world, right?
Yeah.
Especially in, well, art and architecture. Exactly. They truly excelled in monumental art and architecture. Just think about the scale, the longevity.
The pyramids, temples, statues.
Yeah, things we still marvel at. And these weren't just pretty objects. They tied right back to using those resources, that stone. And they were often driven by those deep religious beliefs. Every statue, every carving, it had a purpose. Telling stories about pharaohs, honoring gods, helping the dead in the afterlife. The art was part of their spiritual and political message.
And beyond the huge structures in art, they were also, well, pretty advanced scientifically for their time.
Oh, incredibly so. They developed advanced knowledge in astronomy, medicine, and mathematics. And what's really significant is this wasn't just abstract knowledge locked away somewhere. They applied it, practically.
How so?
Well, their astronomy led to a really accurate calendar. Super important for predicting the Nile floods, managing farming.
Ah, practical astronomy.
Right. In medicine, medical papyrus show they did surgeries, understood some anatomy, had effective remedies. And their math, their geometry, you can see it in the pyramids, the precision, the angles, the alignment. It was fundamental to their engineering triumphs.
Yeah.
So if you connect that to the bigger picture, their smarts, their curiosity, it was directly linked to making daily life better and pulling off these huge, ambitious projects.
So, okay, we've taken this deep dive. What's the big takeaway here? What does it all mean for us? We've journeyed through this incredible rise, seen how the Nile was like the central nervous system, how the pharaohs brought stability and unity, how they cleverly used their resources, and then these just mind-blowing achievements in religion, writing, art, science, technology.